Welcome, Toonheads, to another episode of Toonhounds, your fortnightly foray into all things animated. I am Rich Masters, and with me, as always, the heifer to my Rocko, the Raj to my Lazlo, or really Clem.
Clam, yeah.
Clam.
Yeah. I always preferred Filbert. Filbert was my favourite as a kid.
Filbert is good.
I like Filbert. I think I recognise parts of him in myself.
Yeah, I'm not a Lazlo. I think I'm more Clam, like a monosyllabic kind of like. I don't care about what's going on.
More a Mr. Slinkman.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Mr. Slinkman. I'm a Slinkman. I'm a Squidward.
Yeah.
I'm
a Slinkman. I'm a Squidward.
But yeah, Spivzy.
Hello.
Hello. We're doing Joe Murray cartoons.
We sure are.
Which I was pleased about because these two cartoons were always on. And I would never not watch them when they were on. When you like go past them on the as you're flicking through TV channels, they would always be on.
Yeah.
On Nickelodeon, and I would always watch them.
Yeah, same.
Whenever they came on.
Rocko was on all the time on Nickelodeon. Yeah. Especially I think Nickelodeon only had like 4 shows between 90 and 99. It was you either watched Rocko, Ren and Stimpy was always on.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob. And that was about it for the animations. Like they didn't really have much. What else would there have been? No. Like Rugrats and Our Real Monsters.
Was the Nickelodeon human shows on the channel as well? They were, weren't they? So you had like, Sister and
Keenan and Kel.
Yeah. I don't think of anything else.
Pete and Pete was sometimes on, but it wasn't. It wasn't on that often. I remember watching it, but it was one of those like Slooty Shorts. It was one of them where I knew that it existed, but I never watched it because it was never on.
Yeah.
What else was there? Do you remember Cousin Skeeter?
No.
Cousin Skeeter was he was a puppet. His cousin Skeeter was a puppet, and it was like a Muppet show. That was good.
It sort of rings a bell, but I can't.
You can't
it's
visualise
like
it.
When I say to people, "Do you remember Round the Bend?" and they say, "Oh yeah, the Round the Twist thing," and I was like, "No, Round the Bend."
I don't remember Round the Bend. I don't know if that's a real thing.
It is, and it had like fake cartoons on it. Like it was a crocodile who lived in the sewers.
I don't remember that at all. Was it Down the Bend? Because that would make more sense for a crocodile. Because it would be.
I'm going to put it in the chat. It was satirical.
I don't think this is real.
It is. Hold on.
Do you remember
are you going to make something up now?
No. Do you remember Gruesome Tales for Grizzly Kids?
No.
That was great. It was like a horror show. It was like a Goosebumpsy show where it would be like the like a crypt keeper type would tell a spooky story. Round the Bend.
Yeah, it ran for 3 seasons. It was ITV, which is like the second class channel.
Yeah.
It was Hat Trick Productions as well.
I don't know this.
It was by the same team who made Spitting Image.
It could be because I was 5 months old when it ended.
Yeah.
That could be a reason why.
It used to parody like existing cartoons. So you had the Transformaloids. Wait a minute, what else did you have?
John Potato's news round.
There was a Wee Man and the Masters of the Looniverse.
Oh, jeez.
It was so funny. Thunderpants, Karate Kiddie, Botman and Fat Man.
Oh, that's Starry Trek. That was one.
Yep.
With Captain James T. Burke.
Kenny McTickle and his magic kilt.
Jeez.
Old age useless nitwit tortoises. We got to watch Round the Bend at some point.
They knew how to have fun in 1989.
It was really funny. I can remember it being like, as a really young kid, like this is the peak of entertainment.
Do you know what cartoon was always on Nickelodeon? Like pretty much any time that you put the show on during a commercial break, it would be on. Was Inside Out Girl. About the girl who goes around the top of the swing set and she turns inside out.
Wasn't it Inside Out Boy?
No, it was a girl. I'm sure it was a girl. Was it a boy? It might have been a boy. It would probably make more sense to be a boy.
It was Inside Out Boy.
Yeah. Oh, the girl one was the Loopy Loo, was it called? where she turned into a butterfly. She like went to sleep in a sleeping bag and she came out as a butterfly.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think it was called Lucy Lou. And Kablam! Do you remember Kablam? We should watch Kablam.
Perhaps that's what the next episode needs to be. It needs to be like parody cartoons.
Yeah.
And then we could do Kablam and something else.
Yeah, that would be good. I loved Kablam.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
But we're not watching that this week. We're watching something tangentially related, because it is Nickelodeon to start with.
But Joe Murray worked on this, on Rocko's Modern Life, then Camp Lazlo, then something Lunar. What was that?
Yeah, shit.
Let's Go Lunar.
Let's Go Lunar, yeah. It's like a... Do they work in a... Do they work in a post office or something?
I don't know. I never watched it.
No,
I've heard that it is like progenitor to Adventure Time. It's the same sort of feel. But like we were saying, Rocko's Modern Life feels like the progenitor to SpongeBob. The exact blueprint.
You know, on cartoons where they would have them watching a cartoon and they would it would be like really over the top. Like really bendy, and things would be bouncing around all over the place, and it would be like that sort of thing. Yeah, that is Rocko's Modern Life. That is just that's what it is. I get the same from Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat. Yeah, they're the most cartoons.
Although cartoon in sort of like design, I would say pretty sedate. Rocko's Modern Life in terms of what's happening. Yeah, like it's a weird sort of like setup. Like he's an immigrant who comes from Australia to live in the US and is kind of like, oh, this isn't all that different.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have like main antagonists or anything like that. He's got two loud neighbours who are the best characters in the show.
Yeah.
But
the big heads.
The big heads. Ed Big Head and Bev Big Head.
I love them.
And they're just giant bullfrogs who are really loud. But, like, it's SpongeBob. Like, Philbert is Squidward.
Yeah.
It's
and
just,
Heifer is Patrick.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%.
It's all the same voice actors.
Yeah.
The only person missing is, what's his name who plays Patrick, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
I've got, like, the cadence of his name in my head. Like, I think it's like a Burbada kind of name.
Yeah.
But I can't think what it is.
Edward Harrington?
Yeah. Burbada.
But
is it Frank Shabaka? Bill, is that it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think so.
I can never remember. But it is now. Bill Fadgebacker.
I think that's his name.
So, let's talk Rocko.
Yeah.
Because I think I was out the other side of thinking cartoons were uncool at this point, I think. And just watching what was on television.
Yeah.
So, realising that adult programming is shit.
Yes.
And then going back to cartoons. Because, like, I didn't care for Saved by the Bell or Kenan and Kel and all that stuff. It was like, give me the cartoons back.
Didn't really like Teen Angel on ABC.
No.
These episodes of Rocko's Modern Life that we watched, which were Sugar Frosted Frights and Eddie's Dead, these came out in 1995, and they were on the Halloween special. They aired on October 31st, 1995. So I was 4 years old at this point, which was the age
12.
Where I would have been watching these and enjoying them, but not understanding any of the references. Like, that's the age I was at.
Whereas I was the opposite, I think. I was like, I'd come back to cartoons, I was 12, I realised, oh, right, they're making like a Rear Window reference or something like that. Because my dad made me watch, whatever film was on, regardless if it was suitable for kids or not.
Like, I didn't get any of the references to this. And these are packed full. Horror movie references. Yeah. My favourite being They're Coming to Get You, Philbert, because that's the that's the code word that activates Tavan when I'm doing the Tavan voice. I have to say, They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that gets me into Tavan. that is Tavan's voice. Is the guy from Saturday Night Living Dead
for Hoteen.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then I'm in.
You're locked in.
Yeah. Or if I'm doing any other voice, I do a pirate.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We all know that.
We all know
pirate,
that. Yeah.
Pirate that gradually descends into weird Jamaican stereotype as the episode goes on, because I can't do a pirate voice for very long.
So the episode Sugar Frosted Frights, it's a very like basic premise for an episode.
Yeah.
There's not really much to it. It's Halloween. They're going trick or treating and find out that Filbert has, one, never gone trick or treating before, and two, never eaten candy.
Yeah, that is like, he's the Mormon Quaker kid in your class that you want to be friends with, but they make it incredibly hard.
Yeah. And we get to see Filbert's terrifying great aunt Gretchen.
Yeah, she lives in a aquarium, but she never left, and she grew into the aquarium.
Like, it's wild.
It's like she's walking around in a Bacta tank. From
and
Star
she's
Wars.
terrifying. She's like 30 foot tall compared to Filbert, and he's just like a little boy. And she tells him a story about the hopping Hessian. I don't know what a Hessian is.
Right, so Hessian is two things. One, it's a fabric, like a scratchy fabric.
Yeah.
But the other term for a Hessian that I know is during the American Civil War, Hessians were the conscripted German soldiers that fought for the English in the American Civil War.
That's a crazy...
Not American Civil War, the War of Independence.
Yeah, the Revolutionary War.
Revolutionary War. So, yeah, but that's it can't be one of those. I thought it was a reference to a type breed of cow. Yeah. But I don't know if there is a Hessian cow.
It sounds like a cow breed, but it might be because the word hef might be like, scrambling it. But if it's when it says he's the ghost of a mercenary who lost one of his legs during the war. So
maybe it's that.
Maybe it is that, but that is a crazy thing to put in a kid's show. Like, I would never gotten that, but that's fun. That's a fun thing to put in.
I only remembered it because, like, Revolutionary War was one of the things we studied in history, and I remember thinking at the time, Hessian sounds like a cow.
Yeah,
which is probably why they put it in this as well, because you're like, I'm a big fan of the old, not like Stanley as a writer generally, but like Stanley as a sort of like, let's put a complicated word in so the kids have to look up what it is.
Yeah.
I love that. And this might be one of those.
It could be, yeah. I mean, but Stanley also thought dinosaurs were bulletproof, so I wouldn't trust him for teaching your kids.
No. I do like the way the episode starts with this sort of like weird, scary crypt keeper types opening, and you realise it's just a reporter.
On the news. Yeah.
It's really good. I love that Rocco's going as a really, really big man to the
That was my favourite joke in the episode. Was when he gets the door slammed in his face because he's already been to that house and trick-or-treated. And then you see really, really big man walking past in a Rocko costume. That really made me laugh.
I liked the fact that Heifer's painted the pumpkin on his belly and is doing the faces. That was really good.
Heifer is... I really enjoy Heifer, but sometimes he annoys me.
Yeah. Like
Patrick.
Like Patrick, yeah. Like all the idiot best friend characters.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons why I liked Camp Lazlo a bit more, because the friends weren't idiots.
Yeah,
they had like real personalities.
Yeah, there's a lot more, I think, character building in Camp Lazlo. Like, they feel like... This is my like fandom brain going into overdrive. They feel like the kinds of show that you could write a fan fiction about. In Camp Lazlo. Like, there's enough of the characters there, but there's enough there to like characterize them, but not enough to get all the information. So you've got enough to like, come up with your own scenarios for people.
Yeah, they're definitely they're defined around personality. These characters, which makes it a lot easier to write. Whereas, like, I would say like shows like SpongeBob and to an extent Rocko, the characters are based around emotions. Yeah,
Rocko it's a scenario-based show more than a character-based show. Yeah. It's more what situation can we put these characters in? Instead of it being, how would these characters react to this situation? It's just, what will they do? It's more of a physical thing.
Although I do like Rocko as a character.
I do,
He's steady. Yeah. He reminds, you can tell, like, Lazlo is Rocko thought about a bit more and gone on a bit more.
Yeah.
like Rocco's always quite steady and calm, and even if something's wrong, he'll try and work it out rather than jump to a conclusion, apart from in the other episode where he's absolutely insane. But Rocco's a good, like, morally good character.
He is.
He's like a neutral good.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Netflix movie as well when it came out?
No.
Static Clink. It's really good.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's about Ed and Bev's son in the original series, but it's about her transition.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really
really
nice
cool.
one. Yeah. They did a couple of Nickelodeon movies on Netflix. I think they did Invader Zim and Hey Arnold as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only seen Static Cling though.
Wasn't it nice that, like, 10 years ago or so, we didn't have this trans panic and, like, everyone was very supportive of people changing sex? Like, I think about, like, there was a major, like, I don't watch the soaps, the British soaps, but there was a major character who was trans in one of the big soaps, and it was one of everyone's favourite characters.
Yeah,
and then you
on
had
Coronation Street.
Yeah, and in The Last of Us 2, you have a big... this might be a big spoiler for anyone who hasn't played the game and is watching the series at the moment. So if you don't want to hear about it. But there's a trans story in that, in The Last of Us Part 2, that is really well developed and really sort of like... it's something that's going on in the person's life that has led to them being ostracised, but to one of the main characters, it is just something that is happening and this person is supporting them, and it's really nice. And then you've got stuff like that in Rocko, and it's just like, it just shows how stupid people are and susceptible to villainisation techniques and stuff like that, like scapegoating.
And you can blame it all on one person. Hater.
Well, I mean, two people if you're adding, what's his name? Stephen Merchant. No, not Stephen Merchant.
No, Stephen. Graham Linehan.
Graham Linehan, yeah.
Yeah. The big, fat-headed weirdo.
Yeah. Because I don't, like, that. Watching that episode of the IT Crowd is fucking awful now.
It is, yeah.
It's really, like, propaganda-y. Really sort of scapegoatery. But it's just so, like, it's just, people are so susceptible. Like, stupid or people who have lots of problems or people who are poor or people who are easily manipulated by the media so easily dragged into this scapegoat mentality.
Yeah, it's because there always has to be a villain.
Yeah, there's no shades of grey for them.
No.
I hate so stupid. Yeah. Anyway, Rocko.
Rocco's a good guy, though. He wouldn't be like that.
No, he wouldn't. We wouldn't see what the problem was.
No, he wouldn't. No. The Halloween episode, they managed to coax Philbert out of his caravan to actually go trick or treating.
Out of his shell. Come on, it was right there.
Oh shit! That was funny when he pulls the sheet off and he's got a head, and they
go, "Ah!"
Oh yeah, he's a turtle.
There is a lot of that, like self-awareness that people are in a cartoon in Joe Murray cartoons. Yeah, and I really like that. Like,
I do as well.
Of course, the rules of physics don't apply.
Yeah,
which did bleed over to SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really good. Like, that sort of self-awareness is very, very funny to me. Like the Simpsons walk by sort of joke.
Oh yeah. Where he walks past the window. Yeah.
Or your favourite joke, behind that lemon-shaped rock.
Oh, I love that joke. It's so funny. There's a lemon behind that rock. So they go trick-or-treating and Philbert has his first ever piece of candy, with the implication that he ate it with the wrapper on, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And he goes insane. Like, his eyes start doing that concentric circles thing that they do in cartoons where somebody's having going crazy. They do that in Disney cartoons a lot, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, like Car Eyes from Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Starts doing that.
The hypnosis eyes.
Yeah, and he goes on a sugar bender. He breaks into somebody's house and he's pouring a bag of sugar into his face.
But I love that the woman comes out and she's got... So they are meant to be penny sweets, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she comes out with a bowl of pennies, and he says, "What am I going to do with these?" It's like, you're going to take them and you're going to buy sweets. Yeah. That's the whole point.
He said, "What is wrong with you?"
At first, I thought she was just she'd brought out a bowl of dal. It looked like
I thought it was like goo or like soup or something. Yeah,
it looks like the thing in the title credits where Spunky eats Rocco's brain.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that always grossed me out as a kid. That always like scared me a little.
Bad name for a dog.
Spunky.
Bad name for a dog.
There are so many like references to jerking off in Rocko's Modern Life. There was they had a restaurant called the Chunky Chicken, but they had to change it to the Chunky Chicken.
Oh man,
I think it's so funny. It's like this is one where like adults would have been watching this and getting all the references, and the kids weren't understanding any of it.
And chuckling before the days of like Mumsnet and Mums Against Mums across America would have been like, oh god, our children are gonna suffer for this.
And there's a really, really good sequence which is literally just Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia. It's the same music and everything where Phil turns into this big demon on a mountain top because he's so obsessed with getting sugar.
I love the whole scene where they're running into the woods and crossing the bridge, and that whole bit is good. Like, it is just like he descends into like so many horror tropes, which is really cool. Yeah,
and the two squirrels that like show up every so often, just like on the road. They're in the Eddie's Dead as well.
They are, yeah. They are funny. They're really funny in the next episode.
Yeah, it's the like they're so. Their personalities are so just like bland, like there's nothing to them. But because they're like small little rodent creatures, you expect a bit of like a Chip and Dale sort of feeling to them. But they're just like normal guys.
Yeah, I do like that. It's the subversion of expectation thing, isn't it? Where it's like they're just boring. There's a bit in the Ed is Dead episode where he's like, "I tell you, it was this big," and the other one's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah. He's like, "Look behind you."
This episode, I'm reading the wiki because I'm like, what actually happened in this episode? I remember the references, but I don't remember there being much story, and it's because there's not.
There's not a story, no. It's literally just them going down the road. They start at Filbert's house and just walk down the road past the haunted photo booth and see the Hoopin' Hessian. And then they go home. That's the episode.
And they become friends with him.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah.
And then you have the bit at the end where it's like 1 year later and they're like, who took these photos of last year?
They drop the ball. Oh, there's that at the start of the 1 year later where the Filbert comes out and points at that kid and says, what day is this?
Oh yeah, that's a Scrooge reference. My good boy, what day is this? It's Halloween. The kid's like an 18-year-old.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? I love it. It's so funny.
It was a good episode.
I enjoyed this one, but I enjoyed Eddie's Dead more.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like such a good Rear Window sort of like parody. It's really good, and it was good to see like Bev on her own. Yeah, for a large part of it. It was really good.
And it starts with another reference that nobody my age at the time would have gotten, where he's doing a parody of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Yeah.
While doing this is another one of those, where we talk about voice actors being able to do another voice as that voice.
Yeah.
It's he's doing Heifer doing Alfred Hitchcock. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. So let's look at the references you've got in this episode, because I think we'll front load this. You've got Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I wrote some notes. Rear Window. You've got Psycho. Yeah. You've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the wheelchair bit. Yeah. You've got when Rocko is doing the horror, Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now thing. You've got like references to Edvard Munch's The Scream.
Yep.
And you've got like Sleepy Hollow stuff with the Headless Horseman stuff. It's insane. You wouldn't get these as a kid. You would not get them unless you were a weird kid like we were.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't at that point. I wasn't yet. I was pre-weird.
I did make it sound like we were one entity there. You were a weird kid like we were. But like, I would have got some of these references as a 12-year-old, which is when you think about it, it's not really healthy, is it?
I would have gotten the Psycho references as 12-year-old. Because I remember seeing Looney Tunes Back in Action when I was 12, and that has got a Psycho reference, and I remember getting the reference.
Okay.
So
Psycho's very oft used, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ubiquitous. Psycho is. I think it's one of those where if you're doing a Psycho reference, it's not necessarily a Psycho reference. It's just like a horror movie trope reference.
I'm trying to think
the knife in the shower.
Well, I'm trying to think of the first Psycho reference, and I think it would be Maggie in The Simpsons hitting Homer on the head and the shampoo going down the drain.
Oh, yeah.
It's the music. Like it's one of those sort of like see a glass slipper moments, or see a red cape, and you're like, oh, that's Superman or that's Cinderella, and they are ingrained. I think what this is teaching me is I need to show Evan The Simpsons, because otherwise he's not gonna get some of the humour that exists in the house.
Like, most of like my knowledge of like American pop culture comes from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
because I had a trivia book, and it had for every episode a list of references.
I've got a real life anecdote to tell you.
Oh, right.
So as part of my interview for my potential new job, that I found out about on the 5th of June, because of half term, I went to lunch with my hopefully new boss, and we talked about cartoons because he's a massive cartoon fan, and he's got like cells from The Simpsons.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Animation cells, and we were debating because I was telling him like, I do a cartoon podcast with my friend, and he said, oh, that's really interesting, like what like sort of cartoons have you talked about? And I said like, well, we did a bracket recently. It wasn't recently, it was like a year ago. And we talked about, what was the most influential, Simpsons or Looney Tunes, and he was like, oh, that must have been really hard to decide upon, because it's like, one influences the other, but is one now more influential? And I was like, this is exactly what we were talking about. And he was asking me what my favourite episode was. And I said, well, I've got, object recency syndrome at the moment, but it might be a fish named Selma. And he was like, I love that episode, but I also love Monorail. And I was like, oh my God. And then we talked for half an hour rather about the job than about cartoons, which is probably a good sign, right?
That's a good sign, yeah. Get him on the show.
But yeah, he's I don't know if I could get my future boss on the show, but he was talking about how he's not a collector, but he loves The Simpsons so much that he has like Simpsons animation cells in his like annexy office, and I was like, oh, cool. So
wow,
yeah, there you go, real life anecdote.
There you go. Yeah, you found a kindred spirit.
Well, also, I've got to be nice, and I've got to talk about work in a nice way now, because he might actually listen to the podcast.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
So I love work. I love capitalism and the gaining of money for goods and services.
When he asked, what have you done? Like, what kind of cartoons have you done? This is our 91st episode. Yeah,
I know. I saw that discussion on the Discord. We have to plan something big for the 100, and I don't know what it is. Do you know what would have been perfect? A bracket.
It would have been, yeah.
It would have been great.
That would have been a long one, even longer.
It would have
been
really good.
Yeah. We've done at minimum 180 cartoons, different cartoons, because I think the only time we've doubled up are Adventure Time and The Simpsons. I think everything else has been a unique property.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's absolutely
really
terrifying.
insane.
And we've barely scratched the surface. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We
haven't
also
even done Pokemon yet.
I thought we had, because we talked about it in the pilots episode. But we haven't. And we think about like when Poppy was back on the show. Like we did 3 episodes. We did 3 properties back then.
Yeah. Sometimes we do 4 or 5.
Yeah,
we've so many. Man. There's so many cartoons.
There's too many.
Eddie's dead.
Yeah,
this episode's so funny.
It's really so good.
Fun. It's Rear Window. It's very clearly Rear Window. It's Rocko hears Ed and Bev having an argument, looks out the window. His bedroom apparently faces directly into the big head's bedroom, where they can.
Well, it's their kitchen.
It's their kitchen, yeah. But later on in the episode, he goes straight into the bedroom, unless they're like getting off with each other in the kitchen.
Maybe.
Who can say? But it's just so funny that his bedroom is like directly facing their house, where you could see straight through everything they're doing through silhouettes through the curtain. It was
really so funny. And the reveal of what it is, because like when they were arguing and she had the trowel, I thought she was chopping off, because Ed Bighead has a giant wart on his butt that everyone's laughing about and he's quite self-conscious about. So I thought she was taking the wart off.
I thought she was giving him a haircut.
Ah, okay, yeah. With a trowel.
With a trowel, yeah.
Although he's not got much hair. And then he collapses and she's like, oh, what a mess, we'll get it tomorrow. Which is really good. But then the reveal that it is a meat sculpture of Ed's head for her sculpting class.
It's a meatloaf sculpture, and I don't know why he's screaming in agony while she's making this sculpture.
I can only assume that the wart is hurting him, or she's asked him to capture like display pain so that I can sculpt pain. It's so funny.
And so Rocko decides to investigate, and everything he's seen is making him more and more convinced that Bev has killed Ed and buried him in a shallow grave in the backyard.
Shallow grave in the same shape as Ed's body.
Yeah. Why would that be a thing? That was funny. Like, why would she dig a grave in the shape of the body that she was burying?
And why would you naturally assume? It would make it so hard to get the body into the hole.
Yeah. But no, it turned out that was a shovel that she got for an anniversary present, which was just in the shape of a person.
So stupid. And then she's cleaning the trowel and stuff like that.
And he goes downstairs and sees he thinks it's the back of somebody's head, and it's a Psycho reference, but it's the dog just sitting in a wheelchair. That one was silly. That was a silly reference.
Yeah, that was stupid, but very funny. And then she asks if he'd join her for dinner, and he screams and run away. She isn't even like, why are you in my house, Rocko?
Yeah.
But she's chopping up a cockroach.
Yeah, giant bug, yeah.
And she offers him a leg. It was really weird. It's so gross. Who cuts the hole in the door?
I don't know.
It's really weird, isn't it? Someone cuts a hole in the front door and Spunky runs out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a plot hole. We'll have to do a 20-minute deep dive YouTube episode for this.
All the clues are ridiculous.
They really
That's
are.
The thing. Oh, yeah. Like the bush that says kill Ed. Why does the bush say that?
Yeah. And the lightning flashes and it says Kilroy instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why does the bush say anything at all?
I know. Yeah. Yeah, that was really funny.
The power tools that are in the bed in the shape of...
Oh, and she said we just like sleeping on power tools.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Like, that is a bit of a reference to using, like, mechanical toys in the bedroom, right?
Yeah, they're a couple of freaks, the big heads.
Yeah.
They're swingers. That's established
definitely.
in another episode. When Rocko gets that part-time job at a call centre, and it's like one of those sex lines.
Yeah.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
Nickelodeon is a bit of a freak show.
It is, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, they got away with a few things.
Yeah, they used to hide stuff. Well, especially like Ren and Stimpy and stuff like that. Which is tough. Like, we've talked about this before, but I'm not sure we've talked about it on the show. It's a shame. I'm annoyed that we can't do Ren and Stimpy and Earthworm Jim and stuff like that because their creators are so fucking scumbaggy.
Yeah.
Because it would be good to do stuff like that. Perhaps we have a mematorium one day where we're like, this is separate from the art. No, but then they'd get royalties from what we do, so probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. But I used to love the Earthworm Jim cartoon.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame that he turned out to be a complete wanker. Same with, I used to really like Cat Scratch.
Yeah.
That was another one of his.
Early Rick and Morty as well.
Yeah.
Really good, but we're not watching that.
I mean, I'm glad that they fired him. At least now he's not getting anything out of it.
That's true.
Yeah, because I saw a thing on Reddit where people are arguing over, like, why is it okay to watch Rick and Morty but not okay to support Harry Potter? And people are saying because she's still actively involved in everything. And
still gets massive royalties from everything.
And she is actively using those royalties to cause harm to people.
Yeah. Every time you buy a Harry Potter product new, you are putting money in the hands of transphobia, essentially. That's why, Evan asked for the books, and Rachel did a really deep dive to find out where she could get some. Like, she was going through charity shops trying to find a set of the books so that she didn't get any money for it, and she did in the end. But it's one of those things where you're like, oh, we don't want him to know those things, but you don't want him to be the only kid who isn't being read Harry Potter and stuff like that.
It's difficult, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she. It's a shame that she ended up being so, intrinsically linked to British subculture.
The thing is, it's I always think to myself, if I have enough money, I would shrink back from public life. I would not use that money to air my mental illnesses. No one needs to know the deepest, darkest thoughts of Richard Masters.
No, I'd be such a hermit.
Yeah. I'd go, I think I've said before, I'd go and live in the woods like a Russian saint.
Yeah, like a Baba Yaga.
Yeah. I'd have a house on chicken legs, yeah.
Great.
I like that Bev never explains that Ed is at the hospital because she wants to keep his secret. I think that's really sweet.
Yeah. His giant wart. But the squirrels know.
Yeah, the squirrels know. But the squirrel knows, but when he tries to tell his friend doesn't believe him. So it's going to die.
Yeah.
I know, it's just another way that Rocko is such a sort of neutrally good character.
Yeah, he's a good little boy.
He's a good lad. He says, he knows that Ed Bighead is angry, and he knows that it's going to get Bev in trouble that he told that he knows about the war. So he says, "Don't worry, Ed, Mr. Bighead, I won't tell anyone about you having your tonsils out."
Yeah.
And it's just such a nice moment. I loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. It was a nice ending to a really, really stupid episode.
Well, the ending is that he's watching them out the window and they're making out.
Yeah, but it sounds like we're about to kill each other again.
Yeah. That's just the relationship they have.
Yeah.
I loved both these episodes. I thought they were so good.
Yeah, I really like Rocko. I think Rocko's Modern Life is such a fun show. It's how bendy everything, like that bit in Ed is Dead where there's a storm and one of the two houses over the road just disappear.
Oh my god! Yeah, and then it's morning and the taxi pulls up and no one mentions anything about the storm.
No, yeah.
I really like the just complete lack of perspective to everything.
Yeah.
And when everything's at odd angles, nothing has a vanishing point.
And when Rocko is leaving his house, where he's running to get out of the house, the skirting board is just like a wave on the floor.
Yeah,
and everything is at weird angles, and his house is at like a 45-degree angle
to the next house in the street.
Yeah,
as well. So it doesn't line up. It's weird. Whenever I watch a cartoon and there's rows of detached houses, it always used to baffle me as a kid because in the UK we're so pressed for space that everything is terraced, isn't it?
Yeah,
your house is connected on both sides unless you have it's a status symbol, like a wealth symbol to have the more houses of your house, the more walls of your house that aren't connected to another thing is it shows how much money you've got.
Yeah.
So if you live in a flat that has a house below, above, and to the side of you, that normally means you're working class, and then you progress up the classes dependent on how many external houses touch another walls touch another house.
Yeah, but it's cyclical because once you get to a certain point, you have an apartment which is it's posher than a flat.
But as long as your top floor touches the sky,
yeah.
So. Yeah, it's just odd. Yeah, I loved this. It was so good. I think the biggest thing that is going for Rocko is not the jokes, but the surrealism. It's like a courage situation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's
You're not watching the show for the jokes. You're watching it for the setting and how the characters interact with the setting.
It's very rubber hose in its design and how things interact with one another. I mean, I love the art style in Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, me too.
It's so recognisably Rocko's Modern Life, but it's one where it's very easy to ape the style. Because I've not done Tapon pictures doing the Rocko style before, and it's so simple, but it works so well for everything. There's somebody on they were on Twitter, and I think they're on Blue Sky now, who does screenshots from Animal Crossing as Rocko's Modern Life characters.
That's really cool,
and they're really good. Yeah,
it's something that I'm glad passed over to Lazlo in that this lack of this not wanting to conform to the general rules of animation.
Yeah.
I think that's how you get something that's instantly identifiable.
Yeah.
The warped perspectives in Rugrats and just the physics of Rubber Hose and that sort of animation sort of uniqueness is what makes a show last. All right. So what would you give, based on the shows that we watched, what would you give Rocko's Modern Life?
8.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. It's a really good show. Yeah, the only episode I remember watching as a kid, the one that comes to mind when I'm trying to think of things from Rocko, it's one where Heifer gets arrested for public nudity.
I don't think I've seen that one. I distinctly remember a few episodes where Rocko puts on half moon glasses that he's got on a chain around his neck.
That's so specific.
It is really specific. It's like a sense memory. But I remember the big heads far more than I remember any of the other characters.
Yeah. So,
like when they used to come on screen. It used to be. It's like a Mr. Krabs situation in SpongeBob. Like, I remember those characters more than I do the main characters because they're so... Or the devil in Cow and Chicken.
Yeah.
I think a part of that is because the devil in Cow and Chicken is the same voice as Mr. Big
It is,
Head.
yeah.
But, yeah, there are characters that stick out quite a lot. And like Rocko has a lot of these, and I think Lazlo does as well. When I was watching Lazlo, I was like, "Oh, cool! Of course, I remember that character." Even though they're not in it that much. Right, big recommendation for us based on Rocko. I know there are other better episodes, but Spivzy was gonna pick the horror one.
Yeah.
Come on. What do you expect of them?
What do you want from me?
Right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back to talk about Camp Lazlo.
Yay.
Don't do anything we wouldn't do in the break.
Specialty phone operator. I could do that. Couldn't I? Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. Rocko. Mrs. Bighead? Well, Spunky, guess this is it.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a nice break. It probably wasn't very long. I don't know what you're going to put in the break this time.
I'll put in Rocko saying, "Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby."
Perfect. We're going to talk about Camp Lazlo, which is something that's quite dear to me. Like, it started in 2006. I was not the target audience, but I watched a shit ton of Camp Lazlo.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. Like, it was one of those things, like, that hits you at the right time, like Adventure Time and Regular Show and Gumball all hit me at that sort of time as well. And it was like, they're just really good.
Yeah.
Just really fun shows.
I didn't watch it when it came out. I was a bit older. I think I was in my 20s first time I watched Camp Lazlo, but I did go through the entire series. But yeah, it's a great show. It is. It's so well made.
I think it's that thing we were talking about before, that it's built from character up.
Yeah.
It's almost the reverse of Rocko in the which is weird to say because Rocko's so good, but Rocko seems to be designed around story first, and then almost like the character interactions with it are the last thing that seems to be thought about. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but Lazlo, the characters make this.
They do, yeah. And there's so many of them. It's one of those where like any of these could be your favourite character, because there's like 50 people in this show. I love that sort of thing where there's so much choice of which character to enjoy.
And even like bit part characters, like the Tusk Wizard is so fun.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool concept. Anyway, right, so we watched Tusk Wizard and its partner episode, Squirrel Scout Slinkman, which I picked based on the fact that I was like, Squirrel Scout Slinkman is such a good name that I'm going to definitely misspell it about 100 times. Yeah. Did I misspell it when I asked Spivzy to watch this episode? Absolutely, twice.
Yes.
So, because I couldn't remember a specific episode, I just remembered lots of jokes.
Yeah. I think they were good episodes to watch as like a pair, because the first one is very much about the three main characters.
Yep.
The core cast. And the second episode is the side characters.
Yeah, like Lazlo's not even in the episode, is he?
I think he shows up at some point. I think he's
right.
I think he's there, but I don't know if he's
not
like a major.
He doesn't have a main thing to do. I just love the little asides. Like, it opens with Lazlo in his sleep saying, "Peace, hope, and tranquility. Peace, hope, and tranquility." And then he wakes up and says, "Oh, what a wonderful dream!"
It's so nice, yeah.
and then he says, like, just everything's as it is in the camp. Clams dribbling through the floorboards. Raj is in the corner sobbing, and it's like, oh wait.
He's like just crying in the corner.
He's absolutely distraught, and it's because his baby Tusk is wobbly, and he is worried that because he's at summer camp, the Tusk Wizard, a tooth fairy, essentially, if you hadn't got that reference, might not know where he is and where he is at summer camp, and he won't get his quarter.
Yeah, he won't get his visit from the Tusk Wizard. Yeah, on his giant tusk brush.
Yeah. On his giant tusk brush. Which is like... so I was immediately bought in because I was like, this is a genuine fear a child would have.
Yeah.
Like, it's a genuine situation. I always think cartoons suck me in the best when it is like absurd reaction to completely understandable situation.
Yeah, and especially when the absurd reaction is the right reaction to have.
Yeah.
Where they're right about everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And like we'll get into it, but there is such a sweet resolution to this episode.
Yeah.
And everyone acts in a way that is really natural to their character. So Lazlo basically says, well, why don't you just not use the tooth? Why don't you just be careful with the tooth, and then it won't fall out until you go back home? And then you have the scene where they're in the mess hall, and he's like, "What have you got for lunch, Raj?" And he's like, "Chocolate pudding, water, tomato soup, mashed potato." And then he eats his friend's corn cob, and the tooth falls out.
Yeah. And it takes like 2 seconds to decide to eat the corn on the cob as well. He's just like, "Hey, Raj, you want to eat my corn on the cob?" Sure.
Yeah, sure. And I like through the episode, as bad things are happening, Raj is like, "That's it, I'm going back to India."
He keeps trying to hitchhike to India.
Yeah. I like the whole meta joke of elephant packs his trunk and goes back home, which is, they don't even mention it. That's how funny that is. It's just like, I'm going to pack my trunk and go home. And Lazlo says, well, in true kid logic, well, maybe it'll take 2 days because he'll go to your house first. Yeah. And then he'll be like, oh, shit, I've got to find Raj. He must be at summer camp. And so...
Which makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. And then the next morning they turn over the pillow and the Tusk is still under there. And then you get the Raj packing his trunk again, and he's like, whoa, what if it's 3 days that he needs to get here? And then they say if it hasn't happened by doesn't it? They say if then he tries to do it, and Raj is definitely going to go home.
Yeah.
And he says if it's not been done by 4 days, I will go to India with you.
Yeah.
I'll take you to India myself. And this is why Lazlo's such a good character. He's such a Rocko.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Yeah, same voice actor.
Yeah?
Yeah, noticeably, I think.
Yeah. And then Lazlo and Clam decide that night to dress up as the Tusk Wizard and the magical Tusk Brush.
I don't know why he had to dress up as the Tusk Brush. Like, just because have a Tusk Brush.
I think just because Clam is like sidekick character, and he is very monosyllabic, and he is very, but his main characteristic is that he's loyal. And he'll just do the thing that is needed to be done to get the story over. And I love Clam. I think Clam is really cool. He's an albino rhino,
he's an albino pygmy rhino,
which I think is just a joke. I think it's just so that you can say albino pygmy rhino. Because it's funny to say.
I think he drew the character first, then had to come up with what animal it was supposed to be afterwards.
It's
like
cool
Slinkman
design.
Being a banana slug.
Yeah.
What other show would have a character be an anthropomorphic banana slug?
He's just really fun. I love Slinkman. Slinkman's one of my favorites. Slinkman is a Mr. Burns type character. He's so good. Like that any scene he's in, you know is going to be funny.
Yeah, he's a Mr. Burns type character, but more like Smithers in personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Raj wakes up, and then this just goes to show what a good character Lazlo is. That when Raj says, "Can we hang out for a bit?" Lazlo should say, "No, I've got other kids to go and visit tonight." But he stays, and they all play games.
Dance around.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's like in a really good montage of them dancing. And then Raj is unhappy the next morning because it's like, well, my Tusk won't fall out, and I won't.
He'll never see his friend again.
I'll never see him again because he's so fun.
Which I love that because it just means that Raj had fun with his friends.
Yeah, which feeds so much into the resolution, which is so much so sweet. But I love when they go see Nurse Leslie and the X-ray of the tooth. The tooth is all the way around his head inside. It's so long, and Nurse Leslie says, "Well, I mean, it's not coming out soon. It might be 10 or 20 years."
This is the part of the job I hate most.
And then Raj tries to bribe Nurse Leslie to take the tooth out with the quarter that he's just got from the tooth fairy, which is funny. And then you've got my absolute favourite scene of the episode where Edward and the Chip and Skip tie the tooth to Slinkman and then scare him, thinking that he's run off. But instead he gets in a bus and drives away.
And it's like Raj is getting tangled around a tree.
But it works.
It was so Happy Tree Friends, that sequence.
Yeah, it really was. But the tooth comes out.
The tooth comes out and it's like got a curl in it.
It is wobbly, as if it has been in his brain. Yeah.
It's got a bone at the end of it.
And then they dress up to do it again and spend the night with him. And then he's even more inconsolable because he doesn't have any tusks left.
Yeah.
And then he notices that... does he keep calling him Howard?
Howard, yeah.
And his name's Harold. But he doesn't correct him because he's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
His friend...
not my name.
So Harold is a walrus who has tusks.
Yeah.
And Raj decides to go invite him fishing so that he can cut out his tusks with a bone saw.
And when Lazlo sees him leaving to go fishing, he says, "Why have you got the bone saw, Raj?" He says, "For fishing."
Yeah. But Lazlo and Clam have to come clean and tell Raj that they were the ones who dressed up.
Yeah,
thinking
before
that
he
Raj
could,
is-
before he could smash Harold over the head with an oar.
Yeah, and I love when Raj asks Harold to go fishing. His friends are like, "Oh God, you're moving up in the world."
Yeah.
Because I love the fact that Lazlo, Clam, and Raj are the popular kids, but they're nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of the most endearing things about the show, that they're nice to everyone.
Yeah, people actually like them. Yeah, it's like the complete antithesis to Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely. They basically they tell Raj that they're the ones who did it, and he is like beside himself that they're the greatest friends that anyone could ask for, and he tries to pay them back the $1 that they gave him, and Lazlo is like, "We only did 50 cents," and then they look to the dock and the Tusk wizard has come, and he at the Tusk brush he like starts it up like a motorbike.
Yeah, he doesn't rev the Tusk brush.
It's such a fun episode. It's so funny. It's so funny. I've tried to not tell the majority of the jokes because it's just such a fun episode. My favourite thing is just how good they are.
Yeah, yeah. They're just nice kids. Yeah.
They're nice kids who are nice to their friend, who don't want him to leave, don't want him to be upset. It's not even a consideration that they try and tell Raj to get over it. They just want to make him happy.
Yeah.
I watched these with Evan, and Evan fucking loved it. Like,
good.
He thought it was one of the funniest things he's ever seen, especially the bit where he wrapped around the tree. And then he was talking, because his grandparents picked him up to look after him for a couple of days, because it's half term.
Yeah.
And he was telling them about it on the way out of the house. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's worked then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
head
just...
now.
Yeah. But it was just so much fun. I loved the bit where Raj has the mirror because he's crying at the start of the episode. Yeah. And he's like, look, this is what's wrong. And Lazlo looks in the mirror, he goes, oh my God, I'm beautiful. It's just really good. It's just like, this is a perfect episode because you get what's happening straight away. You get the characters straight away. You get everyone who's in it. You know that Ed is kind of like the bully character, but not really.
Yeah. He's just a bit...
He's just a rival kid.
Yeah, he's just like a schemer.
Yeah. It's just got a different set of priorities.
Yeah.
And Chip and Skip are the dummies are like that as well.
Oh, God, yeah. We have names, you know.
Yeah. But it's just a really good episode. Like one of the most perfectly encapsulated episodes I think we've watched.
Yeah.
It's just
not
great.
A pilot.
No.
This is the trick. We need to stop watching pilots.
It's just really great. Also, the music in this episode was so good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Does it say anywhere where the music is from?
Yes, in the wiki, it's got a massive list of them. Like Flute Link, William Tell Overture, which they obviously always use.
Yeah.
But like, there's a massive list of music. It's just really well done, really well put together. Yeah, it's just great. It's just great. I love the design for the Tusk Wizard as well, and I love when he enters a room, he enters it to a fart noise. Just really great.
I think I would like to watch more Camp Lazlo. Yeah.
I think I don't have a choice now.
Yeah. You've created a fan.
I've created a fan, but it's better than some of the shit that he watches. Caught him watching the other day. Like, we gave him his tablet because it was like Rachel and I were hungover. Yeah. And we were like, you can stay in bed for another hour and watch the tablet. It doesn't matter. And then I come in and he's watching Christmas Chronicle. I'm like, it is June nearly.
That is a good movie, though. That is a good movie.
He loves it. He loves Christmas Chronicle. He liked the Christmas Chronicle 2 as well.
Yeah.
Which isn't so good. But
yeah, Christmas Chronicle 2 wasn't as good. I liked that they put in the Yule Cat. I liked that.
Yeah.
That was a neat reference. But
I can understand. Can you remember when you were a kid and you were like, if I watch a Christmas film, it'll feel like Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Yeah,
So
I used to watch.
Home Alone.
No, I used to watch some like shit ones, like like Blue Toes kind of crap.
Oh, right, okay.
I had a VHS tape with just like a load of MGM Christmas cartoons. I used to watch that. It would be like stuff from the 1940s, where it's really like, if you're not good, then Santa Claus won't come and give you your presents. Like that sort of.
Christmas films don't tend to do that now. They're all let's help your friends.
Yeah, it's
which
less,
is a much. Yeah,
it's less about commercialization, isn't it? Less
Yeah.
about capitalism. It's more about like, the spirit of Christmas isn't about gifts. It's about helping your great uncle, who secretly is Santa Claus.
I loved your upwards inflection. You really had me. That's how it was pitched in the board meeting. I think.
Yeah, they had a picture. They had like the words "Great Uncle Solomon" written on a bit of paper, and then he flipped it over, and it said "Great Uncle Santa Claus."
Or a sticker strip.
Yeah, slapped it on.
So the episode that this was paired with was Squirrel Scout Slinkman. Slinkman is the assistant to the Scoutmaster. Scoutmaster Lumpus? Is that his name? Lumpus?
Is it Lumpus or Lumpus?
Lumpus. It's Lumpus. So essentially, Slinkman wants to be the new Scoutmaster, and Lumpus is a dickhead, basically, and is throughout. He's like a bit of a tyrant on the camp. Not in a bad way, but just like in a administrative way. Like essentially, most of the episode,
tyrant.
Yeah,
and
he's trying to keep the kids safe most of the time, but that goes against what kids naturally want to do, which is put themselves in mortal danger at every opportunity. And he's kind of like a Squidward.
Yeah.
And sorry, go on, say that again.
No, I was just saying he is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like a Squidward, yeah.
But Slinkman is like a Smithers character, and he wants to be the new Scoutmaster, and Lumpus is just mean to him about it. But for 2 days, while Jane Doe and Miss Mucus go on...
Jane Doe is so funny.
It's so funny. When they leave and she's carrying the car, that was really fucking funny. But like essentially the girl camp, well, I can't remember what they're called.
The Squirrel Scouts.
Squirrel Scouts, yeah. It's in the fucking title.
Yeah.
Slinkman has to be Scoutmaster for a few days.
Yeah. And they are not happy about it.
Well, he doesn't get himself on the right foot, I will say. He's very sexist. And the girls do not take it lightly that he is sexist.
So that I really like about the Squirrel Scouts, like the characters in general in this show, is they all just have regular, normal names.
Yeah.
There's nobody called, like, Allegorica or anything.
Although...
No, there's no pun name. Like, it's just Mr. Slinkman has got, like, a name, and his first name's probably, like, Tom or something.
Bob Slinkman. Yeah. Although the owl is called Almondine.
Yeah, Almondine. Yeah,
she's
my
fun.
favourite.
I love
Gretchen,
that. I love that she's so hideous,
but
she's got like this blonde hair, like she's the it girl. But this episode is quite simple in that he just keeps doing misunderstandings and faux pas, and they keep doing pranks on him, and he keeps getting more and more upset. He doesn't want to be the sort of Scoutmaster who, like Lumpus, who is like, these are the rules and you have to lump it, or loop it.
You have to loop it or loop it.
So, but he does that eventually because he gets so upset and puts them in danger and then has to save them. I love using Almondine's head as a engine to get the boat back out.
There's another Almondine bit where they're watching them play tennis with his eyeballs, and her head is just spinning around.
It's really good. That. I don't want to spoil this episode because there's so many little visual jokes.
Yeah, it's a very visually. It's one of those cartoons. It's like it's mostly slapstick humour in this episode.
Yeah.
My favourite joke in the entire episode was where Slinkman had built an obstacle course, and they say, "Oh, we've already got an obstacle course at our camp. We built it last night."
Yeah.
They just happened to have built one last night.
Well, and there's a big pile of salt for him to jump in at the end, which is murder. Yeah. I loved this episode, but it's really good, and it's a really good visual joke, and the whole thing is just like joke after joke after joke. There's not much story to it, but there is another happy resolution in that, because he treats them like they deserve to be treated rather than and reneges the punishment of it and actually saves them. They see him as a hero, and he is like one of them. Yeah. And that's what he always is in the show.
Yeah, he's nice.
It's more one of them than he is the authority figure. And if he learns that, he will be the best scoutmaster.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to do the way they're heading with his character, and it's just like the best thing.
It's a necessary character for the show, I think. Yeah, because Camp Lazlo is so like intrinsically optimistic. It wouldn't work to have two authority figures who were antagonistic. Like, I could see in other cartoons, he would be like Lumpus's snidey little sidekick, especially with a name like Slinkman.
Yeah.
He would be
they
like
picked a slug for him and made him the least slug-like personality. Yeah. Like, he's really energetic, he's really fun, he wanted to try things. The bit where they made him over was really funny. And he looked sexy slug.
He looked good. The character. This is another of the character designs in this, as well as Rocko, are just so good. Yeah, just so like recognisably from this show. Yeah, especially it's the haircuts on the Squirrel Scouts. They're so good because they're such like they're not overly stylized representations of animals. Like, it's not like a Sonic the Hedgehog sort of thing where you can barely tell what animal they're supposed to be. Yeah, they are absolutely 100% meant to be a dog. Or meant to be an owl, or meant to be an alligator.
Well, Nurse Leslie is a piranha. Yeah, exactly. It's really good. It's a really nice show. The animation is great. Like, the colour schemes in it are fantastic. It's all in oranges and like neutral forest colours, and like like when they do sunsets, it's always like pinky hues. It just looks beautiful, but it's got all the same charm as Rocko. Yeah, it's all
lineless art as well in the background. It's just so nice to look at, like long shadows, and everything is like sort of pastels, and it's really good.
It feels autumnal as a show. Yeah. And it's really nice. You don't see a lot of shows in this sort of colour scheme.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't see it. What you tend to see is like primaries and bright primaries. Like, even when they use a blue, like I'm looking at the Squirrel, the Scout hut at the moment, and it's like muted blues and pastels, and the trees are all like dark or light green. There's nothing in that mid-range. Yeah. And it makes the show. The sky is like a muted cream colour. Like, it's always dusk or sunset.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, summer camp isn't really a thing here. So it's not it's not something that I don't think either of us can directly relate to. No. But this does give the feeling of what a summer camp would be like.
Yeah. If only... I would send Evan to this camp.
Yeah, if he was an animal.
If he was an animal. Oh, he definitely is. He's like a ferret.
Ferret? Jeez.
A stoat. Like, causing chaos and running around constantly. Yeah. So we had my friends over at the weekend, and he loves one of my best friends, Rupesh, who has been one of my best friends for about, at this point, 30 years. Jeez. Which is ridiculous. And he convinced Rupesh to all weekend to be an undercover police officer with him, and they acted out a whole thing where their boss, the superintendent, was secretly a criminal, and Evan had shot him accidentally, and Rupesh had to keep his secrets.
Wow.
Because they were good partners. And I was like, this is maybe too adult for a kid and a 40-year-old man to be playing. But yeah, they kept up the pretense all weekend.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they had a whole thing planned. At one point,
did he have to turn in his bags and his gun?
Well, Evan arrested Roop for another crime that Roop had done, and Roop was like, are you sure you want to arrest me? Do you want the story of what you did coming out? And Evan was like, okay, I'll take your handcuffs off. And I was like, you're teaching him what the actual justice system is actually like.
Yeah.
Let him have some sort of jaded opinion that the police are a force for good until he realises they're not. And Roop was saying, but this is how people of colour grow up. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. Okay, you are right. Yeah, you should probably get a more rounded view.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But there you go.
Camp Lazlo.
Camp Lazlo. I would happily give this a 9.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the character designs most of all.
Yeah.
This makes me want to draw animals.
Yeah, I mean, Raj is just so much fun. It is just so much fun. Yeah, I saw the picture you just posted. That is so funny. Yeah, the characters are all really good designs, and you know who they are instantly. You almost know their personality through what they look like.
Yeah.
They're just I'm a big fan of, and I think we both are, the type of show when people are kind.
Yeah, we like nice characters.
Yeah, when people are not their typical, there's a bully in the show, so we've got to show them up. I think about the regular show, and there are aggressive, not bullies, but aggressive characters in that show. Yeah. And people are nice to them.
Yeah. I think
and they kill them with kindness.
It's a better way of doing it. I think most cartoons are kind of steering away from the bully angle these days.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be more to talk to people. It's more about communication and stuff. It's the same with comics as well.
Yeah.
In the Beano, none of them are really bullies anymore. They're all friends with Walter, and they're all friends with Cuthbert in Bash Street Kids. It's they've kind of when I was a kid reading those comics, they were just evil to these characters because they were a bit nerdy.
Yeah. In the Bash Street Kids, they all hated the fat one and the spotty one, and
they're all friends with those two. Fatty and Plug they were in the team, but it was Cuthbert. It was the one with the big chin who was a bit nerdy. Who looked like the teacher. Yeah, he was the put upon one. But he's not called Fatty anymore either. I found that out the other day. He's called Freddy. They've changed his name.
Oh, well, that's good.
That is good. Yeah. And Walter isn't called Walter Softy anymore. And they've taken out all of the slightly homophobic connotations of his character.
Good. Yeah. Good. But yeah, this show is just the perfect. It's one of those shows that's great for kids, but also great for you, the audience member. Yeah. I would quite happily sit and watch this all day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of looking into. Well, yeah, I might have to. I wonder if there is a collected edition.
I don't know, because it was near the time where there might be DVD sets coming out, but I don't know if they would have done a box set.
Camp Lazlo. Doesn't look like it.
No.
That's a shame.
Is it streaming anywhere?
No, I don't think it is. Well, it's streaming in the way that we watch it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got music, but not...
That's a shame, because I'd like to watch this in proper HD.
Yeah. Although, sometimes streaming doesn't necessarily mean it is in proper HD. I'm looking at you, Disney Plus and The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still get stuff like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles full series, the Nickelodeon series, is available as a DVD box set, and I'm thinking of getting that because I think Evan will like that. Plus, I love it; it's a great show. But all the DC stuff is on Blu-ray now, 4K Blu-ray. And that's really good.
The 60s Batman series on 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, I imagine that looks... That must... You must see some stuff that you're not supposed to see in that show.
Yeah.
I made that sound dirty. I didn't mean that. I meant like light fixtures.
Hanging out. They changed the aspect ratio.
His batawang.
Yeah. He's pantless in every single episode, but because of the way the camera is angled, you never see it. But they've changed the aspect ratio now, so you can see the whole bottom of the screen.
Oh, you can see the outline of head in his tight lycra shorts. Lovely. But yeah, this show is great. Genuinely wholesome, funny, perfect designs, great colour, excellent music. I haven't got any negativity about this show at all.
No.
It's just one of the best things we've watched.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. Like, even though I loved it when it's one of those shows, like I say, that was when it was on, it was impossible not to get drawn in by.
Yeah. It's making me want to watch My Gym Partner's a Monkey as well.
Yeah. I think Joe Murray has done like such a wonderful job with these two shows. And I know we talked about it before we started recording, but Joe Murray handed over at the start of season 3 the entirety of production to
Steve
Hillenburg, who is the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, and you can see the influences in SpongeBob from Rocko. You can absolutely 100% see it. So I would say that in some ways, probably Joe Murray is probably one of the co-creators of SpongeBob SquarePants as well. You can see his influence on most modern day cartoons of this type. I just think he's a genius.
Yeah.
I
think we're due another one. We're due another cartoon from him, I think.
Yeah. Well, if we do get that, because he's 64 now, and he lives in Belgium, but like Let's Go Lunar, I've never seen.
No, I haven't either. No.
So maybe we need to do something like that, like watch something that is like the last animation of a great.
He did a short last year called Fiego and the Magic Fish.
Okay.
He's a happily married Italian fisherman named Fiego catches a magic fish and makes wishes to give his wife the good life.
Oh, that's based on a fairy tale.
I think it's just called the Magic Fish, isn't it?
Right.
It's like it's one of the Grimm brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is one of my favourite tropes
wife?
is the magical wish granting fish. I love that.
Yeah. The only reason I know that as well is because Evan read a comprehension book about the fisherman's wife, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. But there's also another one that is based on that, of a fisherman who accidentally spears a dolphin, and it turns out to be the Prince of the Sea. Ooh. And he has to go and save it, and then he stops other people from being poachers. Which is quite a good one. But so let's talk about, because on the Wikipedia, Joe Murray talks about his character creation process. So he starts with the personality and shapes the conditions that make the character tick, the character's imperfections and the appeal. He asks himself, why would I want to tell stories with them? If he's working with anthropomorphic series or book with varying animals, he chooses an animal that in his eyes matches the created personality. According to Murray, this resulted in a social caricature in Rocko's modern life. Yeah, I could get that. If he's working with an anthropomorphic series or book using one animal, he alters the specific character design to match the personality. Murray likes to vary eyeballs by size and colour, and also vary nostrils. Murray believes that inconsistencies make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Murray then selects colours that in his view feels right. He believes that yellow and bright colours match a mood. If a character is negative, he'll pick a colour that in his opinion matches the character. If he has to teach a crew of artists how to draw the character, he creates a model sheet Bible for the character. And Murray explains that one of the interesting aspects of character creations is the evolution of the personality over time. In a one-time movie, the character will have static personality, but for a television series, the character should change from season to season, develop new relationships, and even changing from mere background characters into a main character. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That explains it. That explains how he is, how his characters, and because Lazlo is like that.
Yeah, it's so nice when they actually write these things out for people to understand.
Well, Adventure Time guy, what's his name?
Pendleton Ward.
Pendleton Ward. He did the same, right?
Yeah.
And the how to draw Finn's face, what Finn's face represents. Don't misuse these. Sort of and I completely understand that, because animation at its best should be, especially character animation, should be an extension of their personality. You shouldn't ever look at a character and not know what they're feeling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You should at the very least get a kind of feeling for it. Like you can say, not make a split second, decision over how you think this character. I mean, we kind of do it a bit with TTOS, the way that we design the characters. Not to any extent of it being animated or anything, but you see a big buff blue guy striking a pose, you can kind of get what kind of character he is.
Yeah. And a lot of that is down to Axe, right? When Axe did some of those designs, I think he really realised what we were going for. But the characters were fleshed out so long in advance from when we started actually making it a show, that it was you see Drax design, for example, and you know that he is aggressive. You know that he is blusterous. You see Dross's design, and even the fingers curled back in servitude. And then you see Hoteen's pallid skin, and you know that he is a creeper.
It all works together. I'll just send you this image from what we were saying. It's another Joe Murray cartoon called Frog in a Suit.
Oh,
it's
man.
It's like a comic book cover of the different characters that are in Frog in a Suit, and every single person on that screen, you can get an idea of their personality.
Yeah, absolutely. The middle character is the put upon one. There is a sort of stern character, the young positive, the geeky character,
like a mad scientist.
Yeah, the slight idiot character.
Yeah.
I mean, but these designs are all Lazlo-esque, Rocko-esque. They all follow that sort of their proportions aren't perfect. Interestingly, they've got the same size eyes. Yeah. Which is, I think that's the one thing I change.
I think another cartoon that does this as well, really, really well, is Teacher's Pet. The ones who do the he does all the art for that board game, whatever it's called.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I can't think of the name for it. Yeah. I love his animation style.
Yeah, I do as well.
I love the choices he makes. In the same way that I like the Pendleton Ward stuff, I think we always talk about this. You should be able to... The best characters, you should be able to see a silhouette of them and know who they are.
Yeah. I love character design where somebody's head is the same size as their body. I think that's the top for me. It's the proportions where it's two heads proportion. I love it.
I do like characters that have little pointy shoes and no feet.
Yeah.
like the Camp Lazlo characters. The design, no one is interested in the feet and hands of a cartoon character. No. Unless they've got a hook like the vet in Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at that picture of I assume it's a mole because it's wearing glasses by the toilet. And that character is all face and body.
Yeah.
Everything about them is their face and body.
Yeah, he's a lump with a face. I love it.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right. that's probably it. Well done, Joe Murray. You are amazing and have created 2 great shows that I think are a bit timeless now.
Yeah. Please make more before you die.
Please make more. Yeah, please make more.
It's very morbid way of saying it.
On reflection, I think we probably could have got Joe Murray to guest star.
Yeah,
I think we could.
Why not? Yeah,
I think we could have.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
we'll do that next time.
Yeah, we'll get him on. It's like when we had Don Bluth on that one time.
We did.
Yeah, but then the audio went. He was just saying so many racist things.
Well, I mean, he was very blue.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It was not in colour.
Very blue.
In he was sexually propositioning us.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, we get it, Don. We are studs. Right, so that's it. Spiv, if people want to support the show, what can they do?
If they want to support our lovely show, they can go to patreon.com/Toonhounds and give us $1, where you'll get an episode a little bit earlier, and you'll get early access to our other podcasts, the Daredevil in the Details, as well.
Yes, which we probably should record an episode of. So,
we had a question on the Patreon about if it is better to listen to the show on Patreon or on Spotify. So I'll just say it as an announcement thing. Doesn't matter at all.
Right.
You can listen to it wherever you want, because Spotify doesn't care about numbers. When we're
right.
If you're a small show, if you're getting under 1,000 hits per episode, which is most podcasts, they don't give a shit about what you're doing. They don't advertise for you, and they don't push you to the front of the page. So it doesn't matter. You can listen to it wherever you enjoy listening to a podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It would be nice to get that that level of listenership, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
No. Not many people are. It's very difficult to get podcast listenerships. It's mostly word of mouth or people you already know.
Or people using bot farming, which is shit. So if you've got 50 terabyte hard drives, you can set up a bot farm and then get your podcast to the top of the list, which is fucking abysmal.
So if you don't already have a television show, a really popular podcast is 500 listeners.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And most podcasts don't make more than 6 episodes.
That which even goes to show how good we are. You've got nearly 100 episodes. That is something you can do. Email in suggestions for what you want us to do for our 100th episode.
Yeah, that'd be good. We've had the suggestion to do a live episode. With no editing.
I mean, that is essentially what happens with Story Lords. Because Josh is just like, this is fine. I'm not going to edit this out, because he likes it to feel a bit more natural.
Yeah.
What you do a fair bit of editing because we tangent so much.
Yeah. I try to keep it on track.
Yeah. Well, and also we do record quite a lot of, you'll get an hour and a half show, but we'll have recorded 2.5 hours or something like that, because sometimes it's just we'll record and we'll talk in between and stuff like that, which is how we do it. So but a potential live episode, I mean,
it'd be quite funny. I was also thinking it'd be funny to see if I can get Bart Simpson's the animation one that they did.
What's that?
Simpsons Cartoon Studio.
Oh,
you can make Simpsons cartoons. I thought that would be quite fun to try to get working, and not do a Twitch stream with that.
That would be quite fun. We'd have to do it, but the problem is most of our audience are American.
Yeah, they are, the bastards.
Yeah, and we record at the moment. We record Toonhounds at 10 a.m. in the morning UK time.
We wake up, stumble into the computer chair, record a podcast.
Essentially. I mean, I've been up since 6, so because I have a son. I don't have regular wake-up times anymore. Well, I do. It's regularly 6 o'clock. But yeah, shit. Right, on that note, next episode is Pokemon. We are doing the first episode of Indigo League and the other one...
Horizons.
Yeah. So burying the lead completely here. I think Pokemon the Indigo League is one of the best pilots ever made because it just gets that over that concept really quickly and makes you fall in love with the characters. So it'd be interesting to watch it again. I'm going to let everyone watch it because I think it's about time he learned what Pokemon were.
Is he not into Pokemon yet?
No, he's really big into superheroes. And Star Wars at the moment. I recorded a video yesterday of him sitting watching Star Wars dressed as a stormtrooper because he loves costumes.
That's great.
Which, for a kid who's taking musical theatre, I suppose is probably in keeping. But Pokemon next episode. What have we got after that? Rats.
After that.
And then next week we will. So that will take us up to episode 93.
It will.
So we'll pick another couple of themes after that, probably next time. And then head towards our big 100.
Yeah, the big 10-0.
I cannot believe that. Does that mean we've been doing it for what? 5 years?
Yeah, 2021 we started.
Jesus.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
that's crazy.
We would have been at like 100 a while back if we kept taking breaks. But
occasionally you got to take a break, right?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
So right. Anyway, as always, if you want to send an email to us, you can send it to toonhounds@gmail.com. We always read every email we receive. We sometimes edit them if they're too long, but we do read an email. You can support us on Patreon. You get access to Discord and all that stuff. And we'll try and record a Daredevil in the Detail soon, mainly because I just haven't read what we were supposed to read.
Yeah.
So I'll probably try and read that this week.
Yeah, and then we'll do an episode on it.
Yeah. Right. Thank you as always for listening. We wouldn't do it. Well, we probably still would, but it does make it good to know that we've got an audience out there who care about what we're saying. If you've got any suggestions for ideas, you have to be a patron to do that, and you can head over to Discord and suggest ideas there. But until next time, take care of yourselves and make sure you're kind to each other. Be a Lazlo.
Yeah,
don't
be a Lazlo.
Don't be a...
Who's a bad character? Who's like an evil character? Don't be a...
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, yeah.
Be a Lazlo, don't be a Mr. Burns. Thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.